And welcome back to Inside IUE Sports. It's time to talk about volleyball with it being just around the corner. And joining me to do so is head coach Abby Niekamp. Coach, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
Well, I'll just start off by telling us a little bit about the team that's coming in this year. Obviously, a younger team with only 3 returning players. Just tell us a little bit about them and what you expect to see out of them this year.
Yeah, so unfortunately we're super young this year, but fortunately we have a really good group of girls coming in. We actually had the time to really handpick all these recruits this year. 2 transfers, 8 freshmen. It's been an exciting couple of weeks since we got started with them.
Right.
I think they're going to surprise a lot of people, the way that they're playing together, the way that they mesh. I think we have a good year ahead of us.
And with the practices you've had so far, what are you seeing out of them?
A lot of effort and work ethic. That's a huge component that we looked for in this class, is just their work ethic and the type of work ethic that they bring together. Team mindset is huge with this group. They're ready to do their own work, but really the work that helps out the rest of the team. So, like I said, it's going to be a special group this year.
And how does that compare to teams past?
I think, in the past couple years that I've been here, we've always been missing one thing. I felt like, we have the right setter, we have the right hitter, we have the right libero here on the team, and just one piece was just always off. So I think this year, just the vibe and the clicking together as a whole unit instead of individuals is a lot different.
And talk a little bit about that. I know you've had several different team outings and a lot of team bonding time. How are they seeming to mesh together compared to the other teams you've had in the past?
The first week, I was nervous going into it with so many new people, and they just came out and they just had so much fun. And they embrace all the opportunities, where I think some groups in the past have been hesitant, not sure, not ready to step outside their comfort zone. And these girls don't have a problem doing that. As soon as I ask them to do something or put them in groups for any fun activity that we're doing, they just go full steam ahead with it, which I think is awesome. It's been a really pleasant surprise to have that from this group.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about your roster this year. Let's start off by talking about Haley Langenkamp from Salina, Ohio.
Salina, Ohio, Caleb.
Sorry, you're from there. I know. I messed that one up.
Yep. So Haley is from my hometown, different high schools. But just, the caliber of kid that you get in that area back home, I've tried to have at least one of those on the team every year. Her work ethic is great. She's raw. We're kind of changing a lot with her as a DS, but she has an awesome serve, and she just wants to go out there and get better every single day.
Anything else you'd like to add about her?
I'm just excited to have her on the team.
All right. How about another freshman, Samantha Wakefield from Fort Wayne?
Sam played with Bree up in Snyder in Fort Wayne, Snyder High School in Fort Wayne, and she was one of our kids that really surprised me whenever we picked her up, because she is just a phenomenal defensive specialist. Her passing is on point. She has an awesome platform, and she always gets it on the ball. Defensively, she comes out of nowhere. She reads really well, and then she just picks everything up. So she's a great addition to our team this year.
I've joked around with her a little bit about she's going to have a lot of broadcast time because she seems to be the team storyteller too.
Yeah, she does.
That either.
We talk about the whole group in general. They just have so much fun together, and she's one of those key components. She's always laughing. She's always, I can be, off in the corner playing in practice, and I can hear her laugh over everyone else's. She just loves to have a good time, but her work ethic matches that ability to have fun. So she's has a great combination there.
All right. Also a sophomore out of Indian Lake, Ohio, Michele Greiner. Tell us about her.
Michele is a transfer from St. Joseph's College that closed here in Indiana. After we heard that they were closing, we reached out right away to help find those kids at home. I transferred after my freshman year, so I understand what the process is like, but I chose that and she didn't. So we really wanted to offer a hand there. Michele, this was a good fit for her because it's so close to home. She's about an hour and a half away from home. But she radiates such enthusiasm and such positivity. And she's a utility player. She can play outside or middle. So whenever I added her to the roster, it was kind of, like she can fit in anywhere.
All right. A returning senior, Madison Yoder out of Indianapolis.
Yep. So I have 2 seniors on the team this year. Yoder is one of them, obviously. She just works her tail off in the gym. She loves to be a leader out on the court. Helping so many of these younger freshmen. We have a lot of DSs on the team this year, so she's kind of stepping up and showing them the ropes and setting the example of what needs to be done in practice.
All right. Another right side and outside hitter from Newburgh, Indiana, Lexi Gentry, another freshman.
Yes. Lexi is going to surprise a lot of people. She kind of flew under the radar in high school and club, but she has this huge wingspan, and she just, like I said, she is about, a few of the other girls, she's just so happy all the time and so positive. And that is a kid that I could tell her to run through a brick wall, and she would. She just works so hard, and she has so much fun with her teammates doing it. So we're hoping to see her on the outside this year.
All right. Moving on from there, another freshman from right here in Richmond, Peyton Farris.
Yes, Peyton. Peyton came to us a little bit later. We found her in the summer. She just really wanted to be a part of the team. And like I keep saying, work ethic is the key in this group, and she definitely brought it. She approached me first. She took initiative, and she said, "Coach, I want to do this. I want to be part of the team. I love volleyball." She doesn't have all the skills yet, but she's so willing to learn and just ready to help out.
All right. Next up, the other senior, Bailey Gates.
Yes, Bailey. Unfortunately for Bailey, we've moved her around a ton. Kind of found her home on the right side last year. So we looked for her to fill that position again. She helps set the tone in practice of how hard people are working. So these younger kids that want to work that hard, her and Yoder are kind of setting the tone for them.
All right. From there, another freshman out of Indianapolis, Kelsey Farrell.
Yes, Kelsey. Kelsey is also a raw player, but so athletic. She takes after her older brother, Yogi Farrell, with athleticism, and she is just, she's a beam of light in the gym because she works so hard, but she's so willing for feedback, and she asks for the feedback, so she's going to go pretty far here for us.
All right. Sophie Rogers out of Kokomo, another freshman.
Yep. So Sophie's a Kokomo pickup for us. She has kind of played outside, a little bit of right side. I think her home for us is going to be in the middle. She's so tall. She's a great blocker. She can just get her hands so far over the net. So she'll play a big role in our defensive scheme this year.
With her being from the hometown of another conference school, IU Kokomo, what was it like to be able to get her instead of them getting her?
I don't know that Sophie ever wanted to stay at home. So I'm not sure if she was being recruited by them, but I don't think she was giving much thought to that. She just wanted to kind of get out, and she found us really early and started the recruiting process with us early. And she was such a good follower as a recruit. We love to get recruits at games and have them stay in touch with what we're doing. And she was one of those kids. She is just such a Red Wolf fan herself. So to become a Red Wolf, is pretty awesome for her.
Out of West Lafayette, how about Taylor Mckinney?
Taylor, I recruited her more as a DS. She has phenomenal ball control, very scrappy on defense. But this past club season, she really picked up with her hitting. She's a lefty right side, and she's a little bit shorter, but she has such great shots, and she uses her speed to her advantage on the right side. So we're not quite sure where she's fitting in yet either. But as a freshman, we can teach her all the skills and kind of see where she fits in.
All right. Another freshman out of Kalamazoo, Michigan, Daniel Mitchell.
Yes, Danny is one of our setters. That kid is so athletic. I took over the setters this year, setting coach, so I get one-on-one, interaction with her every day at practice, and she just, I keep saying it, but her work ethic, her positivity, just fits in so well with this group. She's so natural on the court, and when she came to us, she was actually a little bit too strong. We had to reel her in a little bit as far as her sets, but she's picking up our offense really quickly. And I think we have a battle for our setter position right now.
All right. How about returning sophomore Bree Kopke?
Bree was an outside for us last year. She's returning in that position. She just has such a heavy arm swing. She hits such a hard ball. We really worked with her in the off-season with her shots, being able to place the ball in different spots on the court, changed a little bit with her approach to open up more shots for her. So hopefully she'll be more of an offensive threat for us this year.
And last but not least, how about Maria Brazel?
Yeah, Maria came to us as a transfer from a JUCO in Illinois. She's a tall setter, and that's what really attracted me to Maria and her ability to run the offense. She is doing awesome in practice right now. She is a very strong-minded individual, so the harder I push her, the more I get back from her. And I'm really looking forward to seeing where offense can go with her taking lead.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the schedule that you've got this year. We'll talk about conference here in a minute, but you've got a lot of tournaments you're going to early on in the season. Tell us about those.
Yeah, so we chose a couple tournaments that are local. We're going to Huntington and Indiana Wesleyan. Indiana Wesleyan always has great competition. They're a top 25 ranked team, so they bring in a lot of top 25 ranked teams to play against them. Their tournament is always pretty stacked with competition. So, we don't have to go far for competition, which is always nice. It's a lot easier on our kids to travel. And then we're taking a trip down to Life right outside of Atlanta, Georgia, as one of our further trips. We like to get away a little bit and, see different teams than we normally see. Right. So I changed up the tournaments that we are going to this year to maybe get some different teams on the schedule.
Now, at the IU tournament, you're actually going to be having some conference competition there as well, right?
Yes.
And speaking of the conference competition that you're going to have this year, what are some of those that you have circled on the calendar already?
Well, we always circle Kokomo. They have just, the past couple of years, just have stepped in front in this conference. And it's so great to see how strong our conference is getting volleyball-wise. But they have been one that we have always wanted to beat. They're not far from us. Right. So definitely that one. Asbury came on really strong at the end of the season last year in our conference tournament. And then Point Park is always out there in the front. So, those are ones that we're really looking forward to this year and that we have circled. We're actually playing Kokomo when we go to Indiana Wesleyan, which I think is definitely a good thing for this young group because they just don't know what to expect conference-wise yet. And I think it's going to give them a really good indication before we actually head into conference play.
You talk about the teams like Point Park, IU, Kokomo, and Asbury that are typically front runners in the conference. What's it going to take for a team to be able to beat those teams this year?
Just a really solid team chemistry. I think last year we really had a shot talent-wise, but we just had a few chemistry issues that we weren't clicking as a team, and sometimes that happens. But I think just a really strong team that comes together and just fights until the game's over and doesn't give up.
All right. Anything else you'd like to add, either about the schedule or your team this year?
I'm just really excited to get this season going. We've been in practice for a week now, and we've had the girls on campus for about 3 weeks. So I'm ready to get going.
All right. Tell us about the first home game that you're going to have at the Student Events and Activity Center.
Okay, so we're playing Marion August 30th here at home. We get them on the schedule every single year. They're such good competition. Last year we fell to them at home. So we're looking forward to having a rematch with them at home. And it's a lot earlier in the season. So I think that if we can get out in front of them early on, it'll set a really good tone for the rest of the season.
All right, looking forward to it. Well, thanks for your time today and telling us about your team, and we're looking forward to another great season.
Thank you.
All right, well, there you have it from IU East Volleyball head coach Abby Niekamp talking a little bit about her team and the schedule for this upcoming year. Again, the first home match of the season scheduled for August 30th at the IU East Student Events and Activity Center. We'll take a quick break and be right back with more Inside IU East Sports.